What's happening? Welcome back. You're still getting real with the realest man on radio. A lot of people are still upset, especially conservatives, that Major League Baseball decided to pull the All-Star game out of the state of Georgia due to Senate Bill 202. People like Mitch McConnell have said corporations, companies need to stay out of politics, even though he receives a lot of money from corporations. He treats corporations like he's a Chicago pimp. He simply wants the money, doesn't want them to say anything, have no voice whatsoever. But he did not believe that a few years ago. He wanted companies to get involved in politics. All Republicans did. When Hobby Lobby stood against Obamacare, all of these Republicans supported Hobby Lobby's political right, their freedom to express political speech. They all supported it back then. Now they're saying that corporations should stay out of politics. It's really interesting. I have on my show Commissioner Gordon from the podcast. Commissioner Gordon, good day, welcome.
How's it going, Rashad? How's it going?
I'm good, man. You are the sports expert, the sports guru. So I wanted to bring you on the show and talk about the cause and effect relationship between Senate Bill 202 and the sporting world. You typically don't have political conversations in sports, but now you are having political conversation with sporting because of the impact of this Senate bill. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, you know what's funny? You introed it with the fact that politics in sports. Well, Texas also stepped in. The governor of Texas said he was not throwing out the first pitch for the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
Because he didn't agree with Major League Baseball doing this to the Atlanta Braves. So it's funny how they'll tell black people, how they'll tell the athletes to shut up and dribble or shut up and play
Right.
and stick to sports, but they're not sticking to politics. So what's good for one isn't good for the other.
Well said, brother. Well said. The move by Major League Baseball has sparked some controversy. Part of it is that Major League Baseball, they have special privileges under the law. And the Congress, many, many years ago, allowed special antitrust provisions for Major League Baseball so they can continue to run their enterprise, right?
Right.
What do you say to politicians who suggest or flat out proclaim that companies like Major League Baseball or Coca-Cola, etc., should stay completely out of politics? What would you say to those politicians?
I say it's ridiculous because these companies, just like you said, Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, these companies, especially here in Atlanta, these policies affect their employees, not just their employees, but the people who are in high positions and power in their companies. They have many black workers, many black managers. They have people who this impacts, and they can't just slap them. They can't just slap their employees in the face and tell them that they don't give a damn about them, because that's ultimately what the bill is doing, telling you that they're treating you subhuman.
Yeah.
The right to vote is basically a civil right that every human has. It's the right to pick your representation. And when I tell you that I'm taking your civil rights, I'm showing you that I don't believe that you're worthy or you're equal to me. And that, as a national company, as a global company, just can't happen.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's the way it started, according to the Delta CEO. After the Senate bill got passed, according to him, he received significant pushback from Delta employees initially. That Delta employees started to email him or email his office saying how they were not proud of Delta and that they were adversely affected by Senate Bill 202. You talk about Major League Baseball. Obviously, this is a little different than what happened in basketball and some other places where you had players who actively protested certain things, right? And the NFL, you have players that actively protested, but you did not have the management agreeing. You did not have owners agreeing. In the Major League Baseball scenario, you literally have the actual company itself, the actual league itself agreeing with black people. Do you think other major league teams or professional industries like the NFL or the NBA? Do you think they would follow as an organization?
Well, they've shown us in the past that they will follow, because I'll double back, because the Players Alliance, which consists of basically the 150 black professional baseball players, they did the same thing as the black employees of Delta. They basically stood up and they wrote a statement saying that the game itself, the All-Star game, should be stripped from Atlanta. Yep. So baseball followed suit and they listened to their players. And so you say the NFL basically did the same thing to Arizona when Arizona didn't celebrate Dr. King as a holiday, Dr. King Day. They basically did the same thing. They took the Super Bowl away from Arizona. And then a couple of years later, Arizona saw the writing on the wall, and they passed a bill to make Dr. King Day a holiday in the state. The same thing in Charlotte. Charlotte had the bathroom bill, and everything was going on, and everything was real conservative about that with the LGBT community. They took the NBA All-Star game away. And shortly thereafter, North Carolina followed suit, and they kind of loosened they saw the error in their ways, so to speak, because they were missing that money. And so they've shown us in the past they would do these things. They've shown us that we can't just treat people subhumanly.
Well said. Well said, brother. I appreciate your insight as always. How can people check out your phenomenal podcast?
My podcast is called The Commissioner's Conversation. It takes place on Apple, on Spotify. It's everywhere. You check out your podcast. All you have to do is type in The Commissioner's Conversation, take a listen, hit subscribe, and I'll bring it to you every week. You won't even have to go find it anymore. Just pop up on your phone. It'll pop up on your laptop. I also have a YouTube conversation that we have guests on, and it'll be there also. It's just The Commissioner's Conversation. And you can just check us out and subscribe there as well.
Brother, I really appreciate you, man. Great insight. Thank you for being on the show this morning.
I greatly appreciate it as always, Brother Rashad.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Definitely.
We got more on the other side. 404-892-2703. Get you in the conversation. You're getting real with the realest man on radio, Rashad Richey Morning Show.